We just might get some justice for Elijah McClain, y'all. Baby steps, y'all. Baby steps.
P-A-S-C-A-L.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Pascal back at it again with another pop-up video. Be sure to follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, The Pascal Show, one word. Hit that like button down below, and let's not forget to crush that subscribe button if this is your first time checking out this channel right here. Anyway, we got to jump into this story. This is brand new breaking news. This has been something that's been going on for a little while, and it all pertains to, brother Elijah McClain, who died last year in 2020. Here's some interesting news and some good news, y'all. We're stepping in the right direction for justice for Elijah McClain, y'all. Justice for Elijah McClain. Aurora police did not have legal basis to stop, frisk, or choke the 23-year-old, investigation finds. This is amazing news, y'all. Let's take a look at this, shall we? Aurora police officers did not have legal basis to force Elijah McClain to stop walking, to frisk him, or to use a chokehold on him. An independent investigation commissioned by the city found. The initial investigation into the incident led by the department detectives in the Major Crimes Unit was also deeply flawed. Interesting, the investigators found. That's very interesting. I'm not surprised whatsoever, okay? The detectives failed to ask basic, critical questions of the officers involved in McClain's death, and instead, the questions frequently appeared designed to elicit specific exonerating, quote-unquote, magic language found in court rulings, the report states. The report from the detectives was relied upon the department's Force Review Board, as well as the 17th Judicial District Attorney's Office, both of which cleared the officers of wrongdoing. Now, if you guys don't remember what happened with Elijah McClain, this 23-year-old man, young man, named Elijah McClain, was at a gas station getting some things from the gas station. He was wearing a face mask, a full-on face mask. From my understanding, he was anemic, so he gets cold easily. He was wearing this mask to stay warm. He leaves, and of course, he normally, just like any other person, buys whatever items he bought there, and was walking down the street. He had his headphones in. He was doing his thing. Next thing you know, there were phone calls, 911 phone calls, basically saying, hey, there's a guy acting a little strange walking down the street. They asked, the 911 dispatcher asked the people, is he armed and dangerous? Is he being dangerous in any type of way? Is he being violent? Every single one said no. So these cops pull up. They, of course, his response is, please stay away, keep your distance, etc. They go after him. It turns into a full-on tussle. They choke him. They bring him to the ground. He's screaming the famous 3 words, I can't breathe. They're not listening to him. He's sitting there going, I'm not a violent person. I'm a vegetarian. He's basically pleading for his life, trying for these cops to just stop putting all this violence on him. Later on, because they feel like Elijah McClain is being too violent, ambulance come by and they shoot him up with ketamine. Ketamine, and apparently a very high dose of ketamine, which causes him to go into cardiac arrest. He goes to the hospital. He's in the hospital for 3 days, where he later on dies due to all the stuff, due to complications and all the things that he had physically went through during this altercation with these cops, these group of cops that were involved. There's body cam footage galore, and it's a heart-wrenching story. This is a heart-wrenching, terrible story, and we all do not want another black kid to be another hashtag. So the fact that we have been sitting here waiting for anything to happen, this is absolutely fantastic news that they're coming out with this, saying that him being arrested them coming up to him, stopping him, frisking him, choking him, and killing him, literally, there is no legal basis for it. Now, one of the things is here. McClain's mother, Shanine McClain, is relieved that the truth surrounding the death of her son is finally coming to light. The Aurora officials who contributed to Elijah's death must be immediately terminated. Ms. McClain continues to call for the criminal prosecution of those responsible for Elijah's death. Elijah committed no crime on the day of his death, but those who were responsible for Elijah's death certainly did. And I couldn't agree more. There is body cam footage that was used, that was worn throughout the entire thing. The body cam, several of these body cams seem to have fallen off in very interesting ways. There's another time where one of the body cams gets picked up, and they're filming the altercation between Elijah and these cops. One of the cops says, "Get this thing out of my face, get the camera out of my face," etc. Like they're trying to hide what is going on here. Now, of course, we already know later on, maybe just a few weeks later, if I'm correct, I could have the timeline wrong, so please forgive me. Some of the cops that were involved in the death of Elijah McClain end up going to the place of his death, the actual grounds of where he died, and take the most disgusting photo I've ever seen. Where you have all these cops sitting there going, these cops together, taking a photo at the place where Elijah McClain perished. At the place where he struggled and was screaming out loud that he could not breathe. And they're taking photos like it's a trophy. It's an unbelievable series of events that happened, that transpired on that day. Now, we finally have some great news. Now, some of you guys might be wondering why, or like what happened. You know, what were the things that they found during this investigation that led to them realizing that, hey, what those cops did was not right? Well, let's take a look at it. Highlights of investigators' findings. Aurora police officer Nathan Woodyard's actions to encounter, arrest, and subdue McClain were inappropriate and set up events that led to his death. Aurora police should not have searched and frisked McClain. Based on the record available to the panel, we were not able to identify sufficient evidence that Mr. McClain was armed and dangerous in order to justify a pat-down search. The panel also notes that one officer's explanation that Aurora officers are trained to quote-unquote take action before it escalates does not meet the constitutional requirement of reasonable suspicion to conduct either an investigation or an investigatory stop or a frisk. Aurora police were unjustified in restraining and forcing McClain into submission. After first subduing McClain and causing him to faint, police were also unjustified in placing him in a now banned controlled holds that involved cutting off his blood flow or of the carotid artery on the side of his neck. Aurora firefighters accepted a police assessment of excited delirium in the case without making a proper assessment and injected McClain with an excessive dose of ketamine. EMS administered a ketamine dosage based on a grossly inaccurate and inflated estimate of Mr. McClain's size. Higher doses can carry a higher risk of sedation complications, for which this team was not clearly prepared. Those are the pieces of information that they have that shows that there was no reason for McClain to even be stopped, frisked, put into a chokehold, thrown down, injected with ketamine, etc., etc., etc. This is a sad story, and it drives me absolutely wild. But at the same time, I'm very, very happy that it's so slowly but surely becoming a thing, that they're finally getting closer and closer towards justice for this young man. The other thing is this, which I find very, very interesting, and it does make it solidify the situation even more. The district attorney of Adams and Broomfield counties Dave Young had something else to say as well. And he was saying something along the lines of this: I don't condone any of the officers' actions out there. In fact, I wish they would have done things differently. If someone is saying, I can't breathe, get off of him. Do it. Just get off of him. Young told ABC News in June. But again, I have no indication that led to the cause of McClain's death. He said he stands by his decision not to file criminal charges against the officers, and that was at that time. He says, if I can't prove a jury of 12 that their actions caused his death, then I cannot file criminal charges. Well, I guess you got your answer now, Mr. Young, because here's the thing. Now you see proof positive that they have already done their investigation. They've looked into it and they found out that, hey, all the things that they did was what? Dun, 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 excessive force. Yes. So we are finally going to be stepping towards, and hopefully what District Attorney Young is saying here, what he said in June, mind you, this is what he said in June. I'm hoping that now that they have finally made the decision and they have ruled that this situation, there was no need for any of the stuff that happened, that he will actually take this to court and they will bury those cops under the prison. They will be tried amongst a jury of their peers, and they will throw the book at those guys. Because that's what needs to happen. I am very, very happy about this news. This is a huge story. This is huge news. And I really can't wait for Elijah to finally get some justice. And finally, Elijah can finally rest in peace. And I keep saying this over and over and over again, but there's got to be new approaches to certain situations. I feel like we are all different. We all have different situations. This young man was literally just walking home. He was just walking while black in a mask. Home. This young man who is a fan of classical music, loves playing the violin, and is a massage therapist. And if I'm correct, is on the spectrum as well, was innocently walking home. And these cops went out of their way to stop this kid, wrestle him to the ground, choke him out, not listen to him when he said he couldn't breathe, tried to hide themselves from the actual body cams that all except one seemed to have fallen off, miraculously fallen off almost at the same time in a way. These dirty cops need to be brought to justice, and they need to be brought to justice right now. And like I said, I'm hoping that this is a story that we tell, that we find justice for, and they use this to reform what's going on in the police department. That they use this to weed out the dirty, dirty cops that are in the system as we speak. More than just Aurora, more than just the Aurora Police Department. And I mean that. More than ever. I am so ready for this young man to get justice. And there's no excuse behind any of this story. You can't sit here and say, oh, he had a drug problem, or, oh, he did this, he has a criminal record or anything. No, he was a regular kid walking home. That's it. He went to get a few things from a gas station and he was walking home. It is time for justice for Elijah McClain, and it couldn't be coming soon enough. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is baby steps, and this is a very large step in our journey towards justice for Elijah McClain, and I couldn't be happier. Anyway, comment down below. Let me know what you think. What are your thoughts on this story? You know what I'm saying? A lot going on. There's a lot of things to break down and all that. What are your thoughts? You know, do you think that Elijah McClain did something wrong? Or do you think that this was totally unjustified and they should definitely bury these cops under the prison? Let me know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. You already know what I think, and I can't wait for the results of them being found guilty. I just can't wait for those words to come out of the jury's mouth. I can't wait for the verdict to come out and they say guilty, because that's exactly what they deserve. That poor kid. Comment down below, hit that like button. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Anyways, time to get going. Be good to yourselves, be good to one another, and I'll see you guys in the next video. This is the Pascal Show. Bye. Baby steps, y'all. Baby steps.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.